Doing this. Good morning, Hybrid A. Hope you're doing good. Okay. I do the same thing for you guys. So the first thing that we have to do is that this is a line. I know it has an inequality, but it has an x and a y. It doesn't have any absolute value, doesn't have anything squared. That's how we know it's a line. So our job is to put it in slope-intercept form. And remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So what do I have to move here to get the y by itself? So what's the first thing I have to move? So I'm going to move the 3x. So I move the 3x, you guys, and then I put it in front of the 2. If you're in slope-intercept form, you should always put the x first. Now, how am I going to get rid of the 2? What am I going to do? Multiply by its reciprocal. Not just one, you have to multiply the entire thing by 2. So I'm multiplying everything in the equation by 2. I'm flipping my paper over now. Okay, so that means I'm going to have y is less than negative 6x plus 4. So I multiplied everything by 2. So 1/2 times 2 is y. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So you guys, just like when I ask you, is it an open circle or a closed circle? It's the same thing goes with whether it is a solid line or a dotted line. Since there's no line underneath here, it's going to be a dotted line. So we're going to start at 0, 4. So I'm going to put my point on 0, 4 because that's my y-intercept. And what's my slope? My slope is over 1. Because because I'm getting ready to graph a line, I want you to write your slope as a fraction. And then I have already graphed my y-intercept. My y-intercept, I always like to write it as an ordered pair so I remember that it's 0, 4, so it's never going to be on the x-axis. I'm going to go down 6 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't really go anymore. So 2 points is enough. It's not great, but it's enough. And then when we do this, you guys, you want to draw a dotted line. Don't make it solid, make it dotted, just like that. A dash line, I guess you could call it. So the dash line means that if you plugged any of those points on that line, it wouldn't be true because one would not be less than the other. I want to plug in 0, 0. Always pick a point to plug in. Just like when we did on the number line, we're going to do the same thing. So if I plug in 0 for x and 0 for y, what do I get? 0 for x and 0 for y. 0 is less than 2. Is that true? So you guys, I'm just going to put that I'm testing 0, 0 right here. And that's true. And you guys, the reason I put it on this side is because 0, 0 is on this side. And since it's true, this is where I'm shading. That means anything in this area is true. This side would be false. That means anything that's in the blank side wouldn't make it true. So pick a point, write the answer inside, And if it's true, shade over it. If it's false, leave it and shade the other side. I always like testing 0, 0 because it's the easiest point to test in. The only time that you can't test 0, 0 is when the line goes through 0, 0. You would have to pick a different pair of points. Now, here's my other key that I always like to tell people. Pick the same number for X and the same number for Y. Anybody know why I do that? One reason is so I don't forget which one was X and which one was Y. They're both the same. So if I go to graph it, like 10, 10, I know where 10, 10 is. 10, 10 would be over here. Point, I'd go over to 10, up to 10. I know where that point is. And always pick something that's easy for you guys to remember and try to stay positive. Like and what I mean by that is try to pick a positive point because those are easier for you guys to test. Okay, let's do 1B. Let's see what we get. Is it in slope-intercept form? Is it technically in standard form? Technically, what would be better for it to be standard form? The X should not be negative. So we're going to move the X over, right? I'm going to add X to both sides because we got to get rid of it. So now I have 2Y is greater than X plus 4. Now what am I going to do? Divide by 2. Oh, I'm really sorry, you guys. So 2y divided by 2 is y. X divided by 2 is basically 1/2 x. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my slope is 1/2. My b is 0, 2. My y-intercept, okay? Now we're going to graph it. But don't graph it like this. Graph it like this. Is it a solid line or a dashed line? It's the dashed line because it's greater than. We're going to start at 0, 2. So we're going to go to 2 right here. Then we're going to go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. And now it's dashed. Now, when you graph a linear inequality, that line has to go through the entire graph. You can't just stop in the middle of the graph. Can we use the point 0, 0? Can we test the point 0, 0? Yes. Thank you. Say it like you mean it. Okay, so let's test it. So I'm going to test 0, 0, and I'm going to test it. You guys, I'm going to show my work where 0, 0 is, so I know where I'm testing. This is where 0, 0 is, so I'm going to test it. The opposite of 0 plus 2 times 0 is greater than 4. And when you test your point, always test it in the original equation. 0 plus 0 is greater than 4. Is 0 greater than 4? Is that true? It is not true. That means I'm going to shade up here. This is false, so I'm not going to shade where it's false. I'm going to shade where it's true. That makes sense? Okay. I want to do 3A. Okay. So we can get a general idea. Nope, we're not going to do 3A. We're going to just leave it there.